Got it. I'll kick it off and say hello to everyone, and then she'll start with her story. But yeah, if you feed her those, she's gonna feed her the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Friday. I'm tired.
Got it.
Okay, good. Great. So you can just tee them up for her.
Yeah. I just thought hearing the story and where everything started is really, the most important for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, you'll hear some cool stuff. I don't know how many people you're expecting.
We'll give it another minute or two. I'm going to record. It's 2 p.m. where we are, so a lot of people are working, but I'm definitely recording. Everybody was asking me, they're like, oh, please record. Okay, definitely.
Yeah, it's funny also because are you muted? Oh, I'm hearing myself. Are you muted? Hearing like echo. Oh, no, it's better. It's weird because she's West Coast based, so I feel like it's weird that the calls are getting so early. But she's pregnant, so
I know, and I knew that too.
And she probably picked like a time where she knew that she was like great energy versus the end of the day.
No, I'm expecting as well. So I'm like, I give her props because after 2 p.m., me too. I'm like, Kate, no, we're done.
Yeah. And every call, everyone's like, oh, it's so early. I'm like, why are we making them so early? But
no, totally understand. Absolutely.
How many people on your team?
Oh, gosh. We've got quite a large downline. I couldn't even tell you. We're a pretty young team, though, which is exciting. I'm only 27, and a lot of our team is fairly young. And definitely, since the start, have been mindset-based. So when this program started to roll out, all of us were like, yes, this is exactly what, we've been preaching and teaching. And so I think it's going to align perfectly.
Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah. I've been, when we kick it off, I'll, tell everyone a little bit about, myself and developing in this program, but I've been with the company 14 years and this is the, since, before Sean T and before Shalene, probably right around the P90X launch. I've been around a long time. But I'm just super excited for this program because it's just so different. We have nothing like it. There's such a need for it. And this is the first time I'm connecting and getting so involved with the coaches and understanding, more and more about, I'm not, on the coach business. So these calls have been really, really fascinating. So.
Yeah, it's hands down something that is missing from all platforms. Like I'm just glad Beachbody was the one that is finally coming out with it.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm recording so we can kick it off here whenever you are ready.
Just make sure she's jumping on the call. Tell her I'll kick it off because she's usually on the news. Yeah. Okay, she's on. There she is. And I was going to say, all you coaches are all so prompt. It's awesome.
I love it.
Always. Hey, Alana. Anyway, everyone, I told Morgan that I would just give a little intro to you since I know you so well at this point. Read the rest of the call. How are you today, Alana? Good?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Good. I just sent you an email.
Okay, I know. I've been like, I need this email. All right. Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Lara. I've been with Beachbody for, 14 years already. I'm New York based now, born and raised in New York, but have literally responsible for product development of some of the, our biggest brands and programs that you guys all know and love, and infomercials. I mean, I'd say, more infomercials than I care to count. But one thing I would say is that for as long as I've been at the company, I used to be 50 pounds overweight, and I used to work out like crazy, and I could never lose any weight. And I was just, I just ate too much food. Maybe not the wrong food, but just too much food. And it's like a running joke between Carl and I that I'm like the only person in the organization that doesn't exercise. And it's not that I don't exercise. I work so much, and I've figured out how to lose the weight by really, really understand. And I really believe that it's so much food based on what you put in your body. And so for 14 years, we've been like, promise, we'll do a diet, we'll do something that's food based, eating based program. And we have looked and met so many different people. And I mean, even to the point where we were like creating some program on our own. And then, and then then autumn and the containers and all that happened. But I didn't work on that program, but it's extraordinarily amazing and brilliant, and I wish I had. But I met Alana 2 years ago, and we had actually, she was, brought in. There was for a position, on our staff, a registered dietitian on our staff. And, Carl was like, there's something, she's got something that she's got camera experience. Like, you should meet her. So anyway, we went through a whole series of conversation, interviewing, and figuring out what the fit was. And when I was sitting with Alana at dinner in Los Angeles, it just became one. Obviously, we shared our, weight loss stories, and she'll tell you about hers shortly. But I said to Carl, I'm like, we can't employ her. We don't need to develop a certification with her now. We should develop a program around this woman. She has lost 100 pounds. She has a program, a philosophy, a system there. And I think this is it. So fast track 2 years. Here we are, almost 2 years. But we've been working together. I mean, I've learned this program inside and out. Personally, despite having figured out how to lose the weight and keep it off, it's never easy for me. And there are tools and tips and strategies that I have learned from Alana that have helped literally conquer 25 years of nighttime eating, just mindless sleep, whether in my sleep at night, whatever, 25 years, food therapist, eating disorder therapist, regular therapist, mindfulness books, meditation, nothing worked. And I'm telling you, one thing she said, and it's oh my God, how did that work? But it worked. Mm-hmm. So in any event, we've spent the last almost 2 years developing this program, and running test groups in New York, running coach test groups. And I think we have nothing like it. I'm super, super excited. It totally works. And I don't want to take up your time. Let her tell you about herself and get started, but super excited to have you guys here, learn about the program. And at the end, I want to make an announcement or two, because I want you guys to make sure I'd say something. So, Alana.
Hi. Hi, Morgan. Thank you for organizing this.
Thank you for being here. Honestly, when Sandy initially reached out about the call, I was like, yes, we were chosen as one of the teams. But ever since briefly getting to speak to you at Leadership in Vegas, there's just something so special. And I have two girlfriends that are in the test group with you that are constantly like, oh my gosh, program is incredible. It's going to change everything. So beyond excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to hear that. That's so great.
And Morgan's pregnant too. I want to say, Morgan's pregnant too.
Welcome aboard. It is such a fascinating experience. So I that question keeps coming up, are people doing this program with the 2B mindset? And I recommend starting afterwards, after your delivery, but you will see that the coolest thing about the 2B mindset is it really is I know everyone says it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And what does that even mean? But it's one of those things where it really does become effortless and seamless and just a part of your everyday life without having to overthink it, which is such a beautiful thing. So I'll spin it into my personal story before pregnancies. So just as a little kid, I was very morbidly obese. I was always the big kid, strikingly larger than all the other people around me, all the other kids around me. I was wearing adult-sized clothing in third grade. I remember having a fit in Ann Taylor as a 6-year-old because because everyone around me was 12 times my age. So, and I already outsized the Gap kids. So I was very, very overweight as a kid. I had, my parents got divorced when I was really young. We moved around a lot. There were a lot of remarriages and instability, and food was my source of comfort. I had a little stool in the kitchen, my little TV of Nickelodeon, and I would just go at whatever peanut butter jars, takeout food, whatever I could really get my hands on. And I was definitely an emotional eater before I even realized what that was or what that is. And I just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger, unfortunately, and getting less and less healthy, less and less energy, less ability to participate in all those fun kid activities. like everyone else. So it was shameful and it was hard. And at a really young age, at 8 years old, my parents and doctor actually sent me to weight loss camp, which a lot of people know is like fat camp. Literally, as an 8-year-old girl, I was sent off 9 weeks over 2 months to a camp where I had to do this intense regimented workouts all day, every day, have pre-portioned meals, go on the scale, meet with nutritionists, literally since like as long as I can remember. And the good news is I actually loved it. So as much as people like I was embarrassed by it, maybe didn't tell people like the exact name of the camp in the summer, I did love the opportunity to come back every school year feeling good, like feeling like I lost weight and I had made friends along the way. But then of course I just gained it back all school year. So I kind of like started that yo-yo dieting trend as such a little kid where I'd lose weight doing this strict program and then I would gain it all back. And then I would almost like depend on going back on this really strict summer camp the next year so I could gain it back all school year. And I did that yo-yoing pattern for so many years. I'm like a staple of the camp. I was in their brochure. It just became my regular routine. Lose weight, gain it back and more. Lose weight, gain it back and more. Lose weight, gain it back and more. So every time I'd always gain it back and more, because that's usually what happens. I ended up just getting bigger and bigger and bigger year after year. And it was when I topped off, my highest weight was 215 pounds. I'll never forget seeing that on the scale. 215 pounds, and I was only 5 feet 2 inches tall, maybe 5'1", 5'2". I was only like 12, 13 years old, and I was wearing a size 20. And I was determined to just be done with this, just like be done with this negative, destructive cycle for good. Just have this be a thing of my past and just get hold of it, change my mindset, make it positive, make it fun, make it easy and seamless, still live my life and just not have this grappling issue and struggle, like continue to weigh me down and get in the way of living my best life. So going into high school, I decided enough's enough, like get it together. And so I did. And so I started piecing together like what's working to help me lose weight and what's causing me to gain so much weight. And I started like pulling together like, I am a volume eater. I like to eat a lot of food. What foods make me feel full and satisfied and keep helping me lose weight? What habits, what behaviors, what tips, what tricks, what way of thinking? How can I still enjoy this and not overdo it? And so I started kind of piecing together all these like strategies and principles that really helped me throughout high school start to lose weight on my own and keep it off. And then I always knew I wanted to be a dietitian because in weight loss camp as an 8-year-old, you actually are learning nutrition classes like 3 times a week from a dietitian. And I liked the idea of learning about food and talking about food and helping people learn about it in a way that's productive and helpful because it's relevant to every person on the planet. So that became my education. I became a registered dietitian. I wanted to become an expert in the field and really be accountable to myself in my weight loss and help others do it too in the best, most sound way possible. And then when I graduated and I became a registered dietitian, UCLA hired me and said, okay, based on your background, specialty, and weight loss, we want to give you a weight loss program. And they basically threw me into like 100 employees at UCLA, every demographic, every age, 19-year-old guys working in the kitchen to 75-year-old female secretaries, like and anything in between. And basically said, you have 12 weeks, 100 employees, create a weight loss program. And I did. I kind of created this curriculum. I tested it out based on my personal experience, what I was learning in academics. And I kind of like figured out a system. It was successful, but then I kept pushing it. So every semester I made sure that the weight loss average was better than the semester before. And I taught it, ended up teaching it for 10 semesters, ended up like doubling the weight loss that I saw the first semester, and really started working with, at that point, like hundreds and hundreds of people, understanding the mindset. How do people view food, how to get to the bottom of it, what are these like destructive things that get in our way and how can we overcome them so losing weight can feel easy. And I kind of pieced together this program and then have a private practice and thankfully met Beachbody at the perfect time. And together between the expertise behind Lara, Caitlin, Beachbody, and my experience, we've really put together a very, very amazing program that thankfully helps Lara and I and all, and, you know, but it also, it's like, again, it's like, it works. It just works. Like, thankfully it just works. We've been testing it out with women who are breastfeeding, women who have PCOS or thyroid issues, or people who just were stuck in this belief that they can't lose weight, all of a sudden can. And it's great. I can't wait to share it with all of you.
Wow. That's amazing. Actually, when your before and after came up on the video at Leadership, I'm like, that's not the same person.
No, it is. I have the stretch marks to prove it.
It's mind-blowing. And I was telling Lara just quickly before you jumped on here, our team ever since the beginning has been extremely passionate about the mindset of things. That's kind of what we've led with. And then the fitness and nutrition, you know, in the background. But, you know, we've said without that mindset shift, your physical transformation is not going to last anyways, right? So going into this, like, who would you say, because there's of course all types of people, who would you say, you know, would be the people for this?
Luckily the audience is big. And, you know, a lot of people need this and a lot of people need our help. So I'm really thankful, for you all, to help coach it and lead it and to do it for yourselves. You know, it's a very, very effective weight loss program, you know, even for people who don't work out, don't like to work out, can't because they have some sort of injury, because they're recently postpartum, or because they have some sort of condition, or just don't enjoy it. You know, it's a great weight loss program for, you know, obviously all of those people you've been trying to help that have been resistant to that, you know, fitness challenge. It's definitely helpful for them. It's also really helpful for everyone who does like to exercise and work out, but has not been seeing the results they want. And everything like that. I mean, we have an enormous obesity and overweight problem in America. So anyone who needs to lose 5 to 200 plus pounds can do this program. And that could be your current customers. And that could also be those people that you haven't been able to help and tap into yet, like your siblings and your parents and your neighbors and your kids' teachers and everything else. So definitely it can help anyone who needs to lose weight. And it could also just really help everyone who needs to improve their relationship with food and their body. Because one thing we've been seeing that's really interesting is a lot of coaches signed up for the test group not having to lose weight, just wanting to learn about the program so they can coach it later. And some of them have had some just incredible testimonials saying that even though they didn't have to lose weight, they didn't realize how negative their thinking was towards food that has improved so greatly doing this program, because maybe they were, you know, having a burger and fries and then feeling like they were cheating, or that they would have to do a double workout afterwards, or feel guilty or bad. And this program really addresses all of that to help relieve all of those negative feelings that and emotional connections and stuff like that you have for food, and just change your mindset into a perspective of looking at food as like purposeful and helpful and wonderful and beautiful, and it's never bad, and there's never cheating, and there's never perfect, and there's never it's life and how to navigate it the best so you can achieve a successful, like, healthy weight for you and maintain that for good.
Right. And that, you kind of answered my next question. That was, a lot of our team is a lot of people who do love fitness, and, you know, might not have necessarily 100 pounds to lose, might even be at their goal weight. Like, I was going to ask, are they still a candidate for this? Would this still
absolutely? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's been one of the most, like, eye-opening things, because our first test group, you know, Lara really put together an amazing group of people. Like, I have very few coaches, mostly just people who've just been struggling with their weight forever. I mean, mixed group of women, men, just we wanted to see how this works on people who've done Weight Watchers for 30 years or did this program for 30, just like people who just need to lose weight. And it was extremely effective for that. I mean, you guys will keep seeing in the videos we keep releasing, but several people lost over 70 pounds. Several people lost 80 pounds. We have 100 pounder. Like, so, I mean, it was really helpful to see that. But then it's been really interesting now running the coach test groups and seeing the differences of people who are fitness focused, have been even calling themselves health coaches, but still had this like missing link of health that really gets repaired with this program. Is kind of that missing link to help you really be healthy on the inside out, beyond the picture of you posing with your workout clothes, but like really just in your day-to-day outlook on how you see yourself and your food and your body and self-care.
Right. So what can people kind of expect? Like, I know sometimes people before they start stay like, 80-day obsession. A lot of us are doing right now where it's like, I've got my calendar on my fridge. It is like specific, and that's often super intimidating to some people. How does this kind of differ, or what can people expect?
Yeah, this is very, very different. This is very different. That is, most of the Beachbody programs are like pretty regimented or time specific. And it definitely helps a certain demographic and helps a lot of people get there. This is definitely a different approach because I'm the type of person who wouldn't necessarily be able to follow a strict program like that. So this is definitely like for the people who could follow a strict program for sure and want that regimen and structure, but it's also for people who wouldn't necessarily attract themselves so much to such a regimented program. So it really has a lot of flexibility in that. So everyone's different. And so we kind of put together, it's video based. So the program is going to be like right now I'm in my private practice in Beverly Hills. It's going to feel like you're here with me. And we're, going through the motions, and it's the equivalent of about like 20 sessions going through everything. Some people do this program and like we've seen so many different personalities go through this, and some people want to binge watch it in 2 days and they just get it. Like the green light just switches on in their head and they just like melt 40 pounds and like it's the most logical thing on the planet, no issues. Some people have more emotional struggles to go through, want to take their time with it, want to have each part marinate and resonate. And that's amazing too. And the coolest thing is that while people might speed up to watch the videos or this and that, it's not a race. And in the end, maybe sometimes your best weight loss will come from just taking it one video and one principle at a time, because every single video, every single principle can help contribute another 10% to your weight loss. So it's like, even if you just focus on the first video, the first one principle, you would already start losing likely the next 10 pounds. And then if you want to kickstart, you could always watch the next one, which would amp it up and amp it up. So there's no time constraint because everyone's different. Everyone has different amounts of weight to lose. Everyone's going to go at a different pace. This is not perfect. This is not perfection. This is about progress, daily progress, and really having everything you do resonate and marinate. So while if you guys go to like the hashtag to be mindset, a lot of coaches are starting to post their before and after pictures. But if you read the caption of the pictures, they're so much more telling and heartwarming than can ever even be conveyed in the picture itself, because it's really like an internal process and change. And that just has incredible external effects. So yes, it's not like that. We didn't prescribe a calendar. We thought about it, but everyone's so different. So we're just going to encourage everyone to really know themselves, know their personality, go in order of the videos, but go as they see fit, and be okay. Keep revisiting them as needed as well.
And that was kind of my question. After the 20 sessions or 20 videos, we should have all the information we need, or like you said, just continue to revisit. And
so, we need you guys. Like this is a coach-led program. So that is also very different than the workout programs, because the workout programs, everyone's kind of like in their own accountability space. They're in their living room, they do their workout, they check it off, they check it in. This takes coaching. This takes community. This takes support. And this takes daily reinforcement and reassurance. So yes, the program and the product live within videos, live within resources, live within tools, but all of you are going to be critical components. It's the group dynamic that fosters the success, because it is a daily thing. You can watch a video that I make, an 8-minute video on get through events, and I'll cover every kind of events. I'll cover cocktail parties and birthday parties and Super Bowl parties. But at the same time, there's always, what about your mother-in-law hosting that brunch that like always makes you want to, not want to see that uncle or whatever it is. And that's where it's going to come from, like being active in your groups, being active and supportive with one another, with each other, walking each other through this, because that's where the beauty of this program happens, is in everyone's like day-to-day experience with it.
Okay. So would you say the videos are more like, obviously what Beachbody has so far is very, there's a calendar for the workout. You just press play and you do it. There's a calendar for the nutrition. You just follow it and you do it. Whereas like this, I sense, correct me if I'm wrong, is more of like almost like an education course.
In a way, definitely. It's very educational in the best way possible, because knowledge is so powerful. And that's why some people, they watch the videos, they're like, that just makes sense. And it clicks, and they're like, they can just lose so much weight based on the logic of how I present eating, which is just it's like a very sensible approach. So yes, it's definitely educational. You're never going to look at like a package of food the same. You're going to look at it with you're going to look at it so beyond the on sale now or whatever. You're going to look at it with like so much more education and tools behind you to decide whether or not it's like worth your money or time. So there's definitely a lot of great education in there. And then the reinforcement comes from practicing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I would add to that, I think that, and Alana, you can, at this point, we're close to launching or whatever. And I know we're trying to keep everyone not revealing too many details until Super Saturday, but I think you made a great point, Morgan, that it really, our fitness programs are so prescriptive, and it's like you do one workout and then you do next workout. And this is really, I think people who went through the group are kind of like liberated. They're kind of like, oh my God, I can breathe. I feel free. Like, and you really can, like, you can watch that very first video and like, and be like, and start losing weight, which is really great. But I think that also having dieted and everything else, and I'm sure many people on this call and your customers are used to like reading these long, diet, 200-page diet books, and I have a shelf of them in my house. I don't know if you have one in yours, but the fact that you don't have to sit down and read a 200-page book, it is literally like an online course learning her philosophy. Step by step, you're going to learn all her principles, all her strategies, and then how to apply them in like almost every possible.
In like a second, you can apply them.
Good analogy that it really is like an online weight loss course.
And it's very, like, you can literally apply it right away. You don't have to wait till Monday. Like, obviously you're going to want to maybe change up your groceries and things like that. But it's one of those things you can start immediately just processing, starting May 2nd, which is very cool.
So, and I know as coaches, we know how amazing the Beachbody products are, but sometimes for newbies or whatever it may be, for us to explain, what's the difference? Why do I feel that like you're going to be successful with this? Like, how would you help explain that to somebody that maybe doesn't, understand Beachbody's philosophy and where they're coming from?
Totally. No, I totally hear you. There are people, I feel bad because aside from weight loss camp and like a small stint at Weight Watchers, I really never could follow a diet. Like, I was just never going to do it. I was never going to follow a prescribed meal plan. I would like the idea of, like, honestly, like, makes me sweat of someone telling me what I should be eating. I'm just not like that. I would retaliate. And I see so many people, and luckily I figured out this better way. I made a career of it and it worked. But I do see so many, millions and millions and millions of people out there have done so many things in the past. Like, not even Beachbody, like outside of the Beachbody network, like people have done so many horrible things at this point. Like only drinking liquids for a week, or only eating grapefruit for a week, or only eating cabbage for a week. I mean, like, the list literally goes on and on. And I mean, people are peeing on ketone sticks and destroying their kidneys. I mean, it is like literally getting wild. And it's like, there are so many people, if you've tried at least one of these, let alone 10, I don't know how many the average American is, maybe 4 at least, I'm sure. But after all of these stints, we're just seeing the weight come back on, seeing yourself more defeated every time, I could see why it would take so much courage and strength and willpower and love and trust to want to give another thing another try. And I totally feel that. And I know that's going to be something that you're gonna have to work with. And how I recommend you best do it is by doing the program first yourself, honestly, seeing how it's so different and then creating the messaging around that. But this is really not like anything else that's ever existed within Beachbody, without a Beachbody, in that it's not prescriptive, in the way that there's enough structure that you'll lose weight, like enough structure involved that everyone will have the tools they need to lose weight and have it be effective, but enough flexibility that you can make your own food choices, live your own life, continue to go on your vacations, continue to have life's ups and downs and curveballs and events. Okay? Enough tools different, because unlike other things, first of all, you're also not calorie counting. You're not, macro counting. Like you're also not doing that. It's so different because you're never cutting anything out. From day one, you can still be eating things that you were used to think were bad and probably still lose weight by applying some of the other principles. And you'll figure out over time, like nothing is ever bad as long as you approach it with this different, like with the 2B mindset. So one is you're not cutting anything out. You're not counting things. You're not restricting. And another thing is it's very self-directed, self-empowering. And one big difference, another big difference is that there's no perfect and there's no cheating. So you're never like, I was perfect today, which like you can feel that way. And that's great. Like you lost weight one day, you feel like you ate full, you ate big meals, you were satisfied. Like I consider that like a pretty great day, but there's never like I wasn't perfect today or I cheated like that. You can't cheat on this program. As long as you do like the basic principles and you are aware of what you're doing along the way and you're open to learning throughout, there's no cheating, there's no being bad, because you're always going to be either losing weight or learning from it. And the other coolest, I think, differentiator between this program and every other program that we've seen in the test groups and beyond is that it gets easier with time. So that's very different. A lot of programs, it's like you can follow it for a week when kids are in school and routine is happening. And then all of a sudden, like, you get sick, your spouse gets sick, it's Christmas, it's, Easter, and you feel like you're thrown off and it gets harder to sustain. This actually gets easier to sustain, which is, I think, the biggest differentiator between this and honestly, like anything else, because the first month, I'm not going to say it's not going to take effort. Everything good in life takes effort, especially month one. When you start a new job, every day, that first month feels like a year. And then in your 5th year, you're like, how did 5 years go by? Like, that's kind of how this is. There is a learning curve in the beginning. It takes effort, it takes time, but you could actually expect to lose more weight. Pretty much what we've seen in month 2 than you necessarily do in month 1, because it does get easier, more predictable, more in your control, because you're basically developing your own system and I'm just helping you create it with simple principles. So so it takes some time to figure out your system. Once you have your system, it's your life, and you can keep it forever. So it's very different than anything else in so many ways. Exercise is not required. Nothing is cut out. Nothing is overly calculated. It gets easier with time, and you can still live your life through it. So hard to believe, but reality, which is very cool.
Like as you say it sounds too good to be true, but
I totally hear skeptics. I know, I get it. We've had a lot in the test groups. They've made our best testimonials. So I'm welcome to all of them. I just encourage you to just listen, do it, and then make your own conclusions. Just give it a try.
Yeah. And realistically, exactly what you just explained is what every single coach wants, is what every single challenger wants. That's what they want. But up until this point, maybe some people could achieve it on their own. They'll do their own research. They'll figure it out from the very prescriptive programs, say like 80-day obsession, like lots of us are doing right now. But what I've found in my 4.5 years of coaching with myself and even with challengers is like you said, they're extremely successful when they're doing the program. It's because, I'm doing 80 days. I'm doing the nutrition plan. I'm doing the workouts. I'm going to crush it, right? But as soon as life happens or you break up your routine, the messages we get of people feeling like they're a failure. And
we're too good as people. We do too much in life. That's to like call ourselves bad and to call ourselves a failure for missing a workout is just not acceptable in my book. I just can't take it. So we have to be way easier on ourselves, way nicer to ourselves, way more encouraging. And that's why that's why it really comes down to coaching. This program really comes down to that positive reinforcement, positive coaches, positive people, positive weight loss. There's actually a video called Positive People, Positive Weight Loss. There's also a video called Help, I Feel Like I Fell Off. And I explained to you that you really didn't. So we kind of covered these grounds with this to just every time people have those thoughts, have those feelings, we pretty much created content to help pick people back up. Realize that life's not that bad. You're doing a good job.
I'm so happy to hear that because that's a good percentage of, I know my conversations is people who fell off coming back. They, like I said, they feel like they failed. If they got sick, they got the flu and they missed a couple workouts and they feel like they threw everything out the window, or they had cake at their grandma's birthday and they feel like now they can't finish the program. It's mindset.
That's honestly like, you guys are going to see before and after before. And I like someone wrote before and progress pictures, which is really more applicable to this program, being that we started one test group over a year ago and people are down 70 pounds and stay down 70 pounds. You're going to see before and after pictures. A lot of people are going to want to compare this to other weight loss programs from the start. It's just different in every respect. And mostly for that reason, that it does allow life and it's actually encouraged. And we have to change our mindset and perspective on that. And if there's one thing you can do going into this program to prepare for it not to feel perfect on a day-to-day basis. Nothing in life is all or nothing. Like there's so many examples you can use, but like if you were running a company, like as coaches, you're looking at your bottom line, or you and your family looking at your expenses and stuff like that. Like if one quarter you didn't make as much money, like you don't throw away the whole business. Like you learn from that quarter. What could you have done better? What were your mistakes? Sharpen it up and have a better next quarter. But then when it comes to nutrition, it's like people think it's all or nothing. And that's one of the best things that happen on a day-to-day basis in our messaging boards that I'm excited for you guys to experience in your own personal groups. Is the best things that happen is not like, oh, I lost 3 pounds this week, which is always welcomed and nice to hear. But it's like, I ate burgers and fries with my family. I thought it was the end of the world. But then I did X, Y, and Z, which are like all the principles of this program and all the guidelines that I walk you through. And I realized, hey, it really wasn't. And actually, when I looked back and took perspective, throughout the week, I still was down 2 pounds. So that really wasn't the end of the world like I used to think. And like, it's like a breath of fresh air approach to weight loss. It's like it takes all that emotional baggage and guilt and negativity away and just lets you pave forward in a positive perspective and weight loss.
And I think we're going to be able to help way more people with that mindset, because the amount of people, all our coaches on here, even the challengers, some of them on here are probably guilty of this, of not starting for years because they're scared that it's not the right time and they won't.
I don't blame you. Like I would be very scared to do, I'm not as brave to do as much as I'm sure you guys have done. This is not like that. Like going into this, you will not feel like you have to like binge like crazy and eat everything in sight because you'll never see it again. Like, I'm not taking anything away from you. No one's taking anything away from me. So I'm not taking it away from you. And I want everyone to just
start on Monday concept.
Yes. I don't like start. You never have to wait till Monday to get it together. Never have to wait till January 1st.
Hey, sorry, Morgan, I know that people probably have questions and I don't want people to start jumping off, but can I just say 2 things? I lose my headphones.
Yeah, absolutely. I figured we'd wrap up here.
Okay, but and then any questions, but just a couple things I want to just make sure that we're clear. That we haven't really been messaging. There's a lot of details, obviously, coming Super Saturday, but feel free to ask me anything. But I just want you guys all to know, this is really, really important. One, there will be when we launch this product, we're going to have, similar to what we've done with 80 Day Obsessions, private Facebook group. Alana will be running a private Facebook group. So we haven't been messaging that, but I'm breaking the rules and I'm messaging it now.
So please sign up May 2nd, no matter what.
Sign up, get in there early because you will get exclusive access to Alana. She will be able to answer your questions, coach you through this program. All this positivity and stuff that you're hearing in her voice, you're going to experience that like all the coaches and the test groups have done. So super, super important and beneficial. And I just think you're going to be you're just going to be better coaches. You're going to understand this program and it's really, really amazing. 2 is that I know everyone's excited to get the program, sell the program, whatever, but Alana mentioned it earlier. Give yourself a week. Like watch these videos, learn this program, use Alana. So you just spend at least, if it's not 2 weeks, 1 week in the group with Alana. You're going to be more successful. Your customers are going to be more successful. So I just that's my one word to everybody. If I could delay everyone starting, getting people into it, I would, but I can't. All we can do is encourage people to watch the video themselves and spend a little time with Alana before you start. I just can't highly recommend that enough.
This is our first time announcing this, by the way, guys. So please join that Facebook group. That's the most important thing, especially because I'm due shortly afterwards. So I'm going to bury you guys in positivity and coaching up until I absolutely can. So that's why I really want you to get in May 2nd. As long as I can keep this baby in.
Right. Exactly. And everyone's like, well, she'll be gone for a couple of weeks. I'm like, she'll be gone for like a day. I'll fill in and then it'll be back.
Get in before.
Awesome. So there's just a couple questions before we wrap up. I'm not sure if you can see the chat or I can read them out as well.
Yeah, you can read them out.
Okay. So first one was, can mothers who are breastfeeding and experiencing trouble with milk production benefit from this program?
Yes, we've had lots of breastfeeding. I'll say this. I don't know about your particular, let me just say, if you have a particular issue with your milk supply before you do this program, I'm not going to promise you're going to have overflowing milk supply once you do this program. I'm not I'm making no promises in terms of your specific condition or milk supply. What I can tell you is based on experience through the test group, we've had multiple women breastfeeding while doing this program, maintaining positive milk supplies and losing way more weight than they ever have in the past, getting to their pre-baby weights way sooner, more effectively and happily than the past. I personally did the 2B mindset while I was breastfeeding my daughter. I breastfed her for 21 months. I ended up losing 50 pounds in the 6 months after I had her while breastfeeding positively. I never had overflowing freezer bags or anything like that, but I always had positive milk supply. People doing this program we've had many, 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 many breastfeeding women do this program effectively, happily. I think maybe day 1 and day 2, they felt like it was a little bit different, but after 3 days, like any change you make, they felt it completely normalized. And actually a lot of them said, I'm a big water drinker. I'm going to push you guys to drink a lot of water. A lot of them said that they actually made a lot more milk when they started drinking water like that. So if you're cleared by your doctor, then you should be able to do this perfectly fine, breastfeeding.
Excellent. Perfect. And
I plan on doing a breastfeeding. And every beach bunny coach is breastfeeding.
I know, literally, you're like, everyone's either pregnant or breastfeeding. I'm like,
I was going to say,
we need to make beach body sports bras.
I want to answer the question on there about separate. This is separate from BOD. Separate from BOD.
I didn't know if we could say that.
Yes, it is. It's important people know that it is separate from BOD and it's a separate charge.
Perfect. I'm getting asked that question.
I thought everybody knew that, but it doesn't. Facebook group.
I've been telling everyone Super Saturday.
Yeah, Super Saturday. What in terms of and how to get access to it? Oh, the Facebook group. How do you get access? Once you, however, I'm not really sure the mechanics of it, but I guess once you purchase, then I don't know how it works.
Hey, Larry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's Carolina. So yeah, when you purchase, you'll get an email
intro to it
with a link, and then you'll request to be added to the Facebook group, and then it'll take probably 3 to 5 days for customer service to verify that you purchased it and add you to the group.
Right. Which is the same way. Yeah, I know. You have a lot of instantly. Yeah, the group will take. It's a little processing, but I didn't realize it was an email that you're clicking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, we don't want to take up more of your time. Alana, Laura, Victoria, Carolina. I didn't expect all of you to be on here. This is amazing. So much help. Like, but it's just, it's, I was telling Laura again before you jumped on, Alana, it's just so, like you kept saying, a breath of fresh air, like the weight off your chest, because like you said, I feel really sorry for a lot of people that are starting their journey with all the different things that are out there that were, like you said, it's getting crazy. It's
very noisy. It's a very noisy space. So it's, it's in terms of selling this program to people, you gotta hit people with that. Is like, aren't you tired of that thing?
Well, think about that first coach test group we ran. You were like, introduce yourselves, and everyone was like, here's my before, here's my after whatever program, and here's my now where they gained all the weight. It's like, why does everyone
before, after.
And after?
So like, this is different in that, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but I was between this and some sort of extreme pill crash detox broth base. And you just have to be like, aren't you tired of that? Like, don't you just want to lose your weight this time in a way that doesn't feel like you're different than every other human being at the table and that you actually can keep off happily? I think you just need to keep telling people, like, just getting people to just acknowledge, like, if there were a magic pill, we would have all been taking it by now. If there was a magic broth, we would have been taking it now. After like your 7-day cleanse, like, come on, like, you're still going to want pizza. Like, how are you going to do with that? So I really think it's important, like, just to message this program, as a differentiator in that it's livable. It's a livable approach to weight loss.
Right. And honestly, I loved when you just said, I went out and had burgers with my family, because to me, and to a lot of people we help too, it's like, food is life. Food is how we celebrate. It's part of life. And so many people get scared of what others will think of them if they're not, having burgers with their family. Or
I really don't want anyone to have that one of the best things, I think one of the best testimonials I hear of people doing this program is that they don't feel different. They don't feel like they're a creep at the table on the strict diet that has to order separately or bring their own food. You should never have to feel that way. You should always feel like if your friends want to go out and you want to go out with them, then you know what to do there and be satisfied and still be able to lose weight. So that is the differentiator. That is the biggest difference that you just don't get in other things. So I think that's the messaging to lead with.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and Shakeology is definitely a part of it. So
good.
That's a lot of the coaches have been asking about that. And Shakeology is definitely very, very positively integrated into the plan.
Perfect. Well, there was another question about pricing, but I'm sure all of that will come out in like the Super Saturday info, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, Laura was shaking her head. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, all the details at Super Saturday. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we will let you go. I know
all those details. Yep.
It's getting to be the afternoon, so I don't know about you. I'm like, okay, it's time to.
Yes, enjoy your weekends.
Thank you again for
organizing this.
Yeah, for not just this call, but finally for breaking the mold and creating a program that truly is going to make a difference.
Oh, you're so awesome. Feel good. When are you due?
Not till August, so I'm pretty early still, but like
a long time.
It's quite a journey. So,
well, good for you for staying fit and active and everything. So,
all
right, bye guys.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming and joining.
Bye.